Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Prairie Remembrance. Today we are talking about kind of a cautionary tale, the attempt of what happens when you're not careful in a cemetery.
Yeah.
There was a reason why we haven't been posting that much. We did have an accident, and so we're kind of deep dive of what happened here. So please join us and stick around if you're interested. So we were going to attempt to clean a cemetery known as Potter Cemetery, which is in Warren County on the way to Alexis, Illinois. It's an old pioneer cemetery, and we met something that we weren't prepared for. It was myself, Marty, and Marty's brother Mac, and let's describe how you get to the cemetery first. So it's on a country road, blacktop road.
Right. But it's remote. It's on top of a hill. There used to be another road there that has since disappeared and is being farmed over. So the cemetery is probably about a quarter of a mile off of the road on top of a hill. It hasn't been kept up consistently for a long time. A neighbor by the name of Tammy is very good about going over there and mowing periodically, but because of spring storms, there were a lot of downed trees in the cemetery on top of gravestones, and of course you can't mow if there's limbs and branches and so forth. So we were trying to clean up the cemetery so that Tammy could do some mowing. My brother Mac ended up with his chainsaw. The chain got bound up in one of the limbs that was down. So Stephen was trying to do a relief cut, and I was trying to hold the limb so that it would relieve the chain on the chainsaw. And all of a sudden, everything released. Yeah. Mac's chainsaw, Stephen's chainsaw, and then along with the tree being released, the gravestone came back this way. I tried to back away from the gravestone as fast as I could, but my leg got caught under the gravestone and caused a complex fracture of my lower leg tibia and fibula. And so that put me out of commission for a while.
And the headstone, we're not talking about a small one either. This one had to be over at least a ton of granite. So it was a pretty serious injury. I remember when we called EMS, they needed to know where we were at. It was kind of puzzling to be like, we're in the middle of a forest by a bean field. But luckily they were able to show up, and we were able to get Marty out of that situation. It was definitely a surprise for everybody that was there. And luckily, I mean, everyone was okay. So yeah, that's what happened. And here are some cautionary things to be careful of when you do this kind of a project. Check the headstone. Check to see if it is wobbly, if it's moving, if there's cracks in it. Don't always think that the glue that's in there is holding it down, right? If there's a tree on top of it and it looks like you're not able to be the one to push it off or chainsaw it off by yourself, don't even attempt it. Just note it for another project, maybe get a team of members with you. Be careful. Please, please be careful. Anything you want to add?
I might add one more thing. If you are in a remote area, make sure that you have phone service. And if you don't have phone service, have a plan. Have a plan if there's an emergency. How are you going to get help? Where are you going to get help? Does the help know where to come? Because that was some of the things we ran into. We didn't have any phone service. It was an hour and a half before help came. I think I taught Stephen a brand new language that he hadn't heard some of the words that I said while my leg was stuck under that stone.
Yeah.
So just be aware of the possibilities and be prepared for them.
Stay safe on this kind of a project.
Thank you. The last time I went to the doctor for a checkup, I asked him if we could just talk about that injury, and knowing what we had been doing at the grave site, I asked him, if this injury would have happened 100 years ago when the majority of the people were buried there, how would it have been handled? So the following is a conversation I had with my orthopedic surgeon. So 150 years ago, if a person had an injury like mine, what would they have gone through? How would it have been handled?
So what's really fascinating with things like this is that there's been knowledge of how to deal with fractures in general, and there's been splinting techniques, there have been various things. The thing that really complicates this injury is the open nature of the fracture. And so when the bone is exposed to air, now you introduce a highly significant element of risk of infection. And infection is death to an extremity, especially when you get deep into a bone.
And no access to antibiotics.
In truth, if you look at the history of antibiotics, just as you pointed out, really even war wounds are treated, there's some surgical debridement and so forth, but even up until the middle portion of World War II, these wounds are left open because the risk of gas gangrene is in the 90% range.
And that means amputation.
And that's amputation. And so they're left open and packed in a hope that you can get some what's called granulation and fill in from the inside out. And so
pink tissue.
It's the introduction of penicillins in the, penicillins discovered in the late 1920s by Fleming, but it's not until the late 30s that a group of researchers, because Fleming can't figure out a way to truly purify it to make it commercially available. So it's not until the late 1930s that a group of researchers gets on board with some various entities, including the U.S. War Department, because they realize the value of penicillin. And that's where we first start being able to close wounds primarily, which is an unheard of concept in the mid-war era, so in the 1943 era. You're able to close wounds primarily, battle wounds, and give penicillin. And so an injury like this 100 years ago would have an extremely high rate of amputation. And I would mention my great-grandfather over in Congerville had an open femur fracture. His son must have slipped a clutch or something on a tractor and backed into him, and he died of sepsis. And this is right immediately prior to the Great Depression. So even in the late 1920s, stuff like this results even in death.
I appreciate your expertise. Thank you for everything. You're my savior. I will tell you that.
Yeah, my car would not have been able to make this. Looks nice. Oh, no, you're good.
Tammy's been out here and still down.
Oh, wow. What you think?
Yeah, that's it. Here too. This is right here.
Oh yeah, there is boards there.
Yeah.
Any thoughts of looking at this again?
Nope.
I agree. There's the hole that we tried to dig.
Yeah.
And the tree was right in this area.
Back there where these other headstones are.
Do you think there are more people buried in this area?
Could very well be. Yeah. This past spring too.
Wow. I don't even know where to start with this one.
Yeah. That would have to be uncovered and have to figure out where the base is. The base is crumbled. You've got 3 pieces there and then the top there. Wouldn't have to worry about flooding. And they had a good view of, you know, on either side. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm gonna roll this up. I wonder how much it would cost to get a sign placed over here.
Oh, yeah. Would be a bad idea in case something ever happened. People know where the cemetery was.
Right.
Or if people had family, they'd know where it was. In conclusion, we just want to invite everybody to do what we're doing. You know, clean up these forgotten cemeteries. Tell their story. Tell the stories of the people that are there. Look up your relatives. Find out where you've been. It'll help maybe define where you're going to be going with your life. Just be careful doing it.
Please be very careful.
Thank you.
Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Prairie Remembrance. Give us a like, give us a follow, comment. We appreciate all the kind of feedback. Have a good rest of your day, and we will see you for episode 4. Bye-bye.